Okay, let's get down to business. We've got our RSD-15 here, and we need to find out as much as we can about it. Right now, all I know is that it runs pretty good. And let's take a look here. It does say, you can see it's KMT Japan. So I suspected Sam Hongsa as being the builder, but let's find out what we can find out. Let's just break it down. I don't know where the documentation for this is, the parts diagram. Doesn't really matter. I'm fairly confident that no matter what happens, I can get it back together again. So let's just start taking it apart. I'm guessing we're going to go for these big ones right on the bottom. It could be motor mounts, but that really doesn't matter. We're going to take as many screws out of this thing as there are visible. We're going to see what we end up with. And it may fall apart on the inside. In fact, it is very likely that it will fall apart on the inside. Okay, screw one into the bin. Into my parts bin, not the garbage bin. Some nuts down in here. See if we can get in there with a little. Maybe not quite yet. And we might not need to. I did get two. Where's the other one? There we go. Okay. Now, with taking those two out, it does look like the top wants to come off. Okay, so I found another one here. Right behind the coupler, there's another screw. Take that guy out. Fortunately, if I don't remember how this goes back together, I've got it on video. Aha, now what I have found here, I have found a replacement screw. Let's see if you can see that. Okay, there's a Phillips head, a little silver screw right here behind the front coupler. We're going to take it out. So, someone's been in here before. And like I told you, there's the back end, front end. Front end fell off. It's typical, and that happens because it's corroded. And I got it right over here. Put that back on later. All right. So let's take. So someone's been in here before, way back when, probably when they did this Katy coupler conversion. I didn't even look at these couplers. That might tell us how old, or at least how long someone was using this. And looks like we've got two more. Okay, behind the front truck, we've got two frame screws. They are. Wow, I'm surprised they're still here. It's about as loose as you get. One of them's got a little bit of corrosion on it. Okay, there's one in the bin. Ah, yes. Now, where's that other screw go? Here he is. Okay. We found here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws that hold the basically what we normally call the shell onto the underframe. And look what we got here. Okay, I don't care how cool this is. I ain't keeping it. I'm keeping it, but it's not going to be in this locomotive. Aha, so somebody has been in here a long time ago, and they marked it. They marked front and back, which I'm going to have to clean it before I mark it. Looks like they... What did they do? Did they do some new wiring here? Might have. Could be possible. What we've got here is a drive shaft system, and I like that. I like the drive shaft. And let me go ahead. Let's take another look at this thing on the track. Let's get ourselves some power here, and let's motor's not secured, but that don't matter now. We'll just put it on the test bench here. Let's see, can you guys see that? Okay, there it is. That is our Alco Models RSD-15. That is what the underframe and everything with the motor on it looks like. So now let's fire it up and see what we got. That's slow speed. That's pretty good. The motor is solid, no doubt about it. There is essentially, if I'm looking at this right, I'm seeing this right. So the gears have been definitely cleaned a long time ago, and they never had any grease on them. Which was probably kind of a smart thing to do if you weren't running it, because guys used to use, and a lot still do, that Labelle number 106. I personally do not like that stuff because over time it basically turns to amber. Now, if you're running it every day at a club, that's not going to happen, and that's fine. But I've got some locomotives that have sat around for a long time, so that's not acceptable. So as always, I'll be using my red lithium, which has definitely stood the test of time. If you've seen any of my other videos where I use red lithium, we opened up a 1980s tunnel motor that I did in, or let's see, yeah, Athearn Blue Box tunnel motor came out in the roughly about 88 or so, and I opened one up that I had rebuilt. I got it brand new, and I followed the procedure of breaking it all down and lubing it up, and I did that in 1988, and then it has sat until this year, and that red lithium was perfect. So that was roughly 31 years that without turning to sludge or into amber or getting hardened oil. So right now I am definitely feeling 24 volts on this guy. I don't know about you, but I feel it. So my choices that I am going to choose from, this one, which is a double shaft version of this one, or this one. And you say, now why? Why don't you get a can motor? Why don't you get a Northwest Shortline or a Sagami can motor? Well, if you want a flip phone, go on eBay and get one. I personally prefer a modern technology. Here's a big nut, right? Like that? Okay. Whoops, not as strong. Oh! Yeah, this guy makes you jump. These are all three of these are rare earth magnet motors. They're 24 volts. Now, what does that mean, 24 volts? Means that under normal operations, these are usually hooked up in a 24 volt system. Alright? And they, so they're very robust. On our model railroad, I think my Tech 2 is putting out about 18 volts on this track right here. We should probably test that. What that means is never, ever going to put a strain on this. The other thing that it means is that it draws very little power, but you'll never reach its maximum revolutions per minute at 18 volts. So they are slower. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's not good. These, essentially, they're light cam motors. They're rare earth magnet. I forget what else we call these. What they're good for is they're really quiet. They're very strong, much stronger than this. They have much more torque. Super smooth. Because of the modern technology, they don't need flywheels. Flywheels help you in a motor like this. A flywheel will help this motor keep turning. Sometimes when it loses contact. These start at a high torque at a very low voltage, so if there's any contact at all, you're going to get movement out of these. And look, this frees up a ton of space under a hood. If you're a guy that gets into sound and other you want to wire fiber optics for your ditch lights and stuff, this is the way to go. This is nice because it usually fits nicely. This is a single shaft, so over here is a Tenshoto, which we're going to do at the same time. My thought is, we're going to work on this guy. We are going to test what we're going to do to this guy on this Tenshoto ST24. So I've had it apart. It had a motor. It had the classic open frame motor. If you're not familiar with it, think of this with one pole. This is going to be the motor for this. I mean, I did a little 3D printing and put a little piece of styrene on it, and it's going to get mounted right here. Mounts by these rubber fuel line hoses. That'll be our SD24. And that's how that guy's going to go. So we're going to test on that guy while we're figuring out what we're going to do here. One of these two motors, in fact, it's going to depend on what kind of a mounting system I build for it. To build the mounting system, my intention is I'm probably just going to 3D print a mount. I'm just going to go ahead and design a mount, and then use the 3D printer over there and test it. Now let's try these motors. You know, later we'll figure out, one of the things I like to do is figure out which side I like when I wire something up. I like my right side to be the top one, and I like the bottom side to be the black one. So I like red. Red is the right rail. As we're pointing that way. Left is black rail. When the motor's mounted in here, I like to have, if at all possible, wires to the rear. But either way we go, I like to have the red be the top, black one be the bottom. Let's try this motor here and see what we get. That right there is half. Oh, that's maybe why I got this one. I got this one because I think it has higher revolutions. I don't know why it's so beat up. This may not be the one we're using for this project. I think this is my test motor. You say, well, where do you get these motors? Well, And how much are they? About $3. I think this one is $3.50. Well, how come everybody doesn't use them? Because everybody's not smart enough to figure out that you should be looking for the motors that are the most robust. Where do you find those motors? Well, you ever wondered what motor is on the inside of your car that powers the windows? Motors like that. How about door locks? How about little accessories? Some of these camera motors usually are like 3 volts. But any place where you need an extremely rugged, powerful motor, here it is. And there's lots of applications for that. Yep. Feels nice. Now, sounds, remember this is roughly half of its speed. And so I have some, I've done some other videos where I repowered them. Some GP18, C424. They're deceptive in the fact that and even at maximum power, they run quite a bit slower on the track. The motor doesn't run slower. Your locomotive runs slower because you're not doing as many revolutions. It's not really that big of a deal. If you like to, you know, creep along at, you know, let's say you track speed limit is 15. You like to go about 20. These are the motors that really let you do that. Okay. We were going to test this one. We already did that. Never mind. What we're going to do now, let's get this thing apart. Let's get this guy down because this thing has got terrible corrosion. And it's full of fingerprints, and it's sat around for a long time. I'm not seeing any evidence that it was ever painted. Somebody just collected it. They did. They almost certainly did a little bit in here because, well, that's really hard to say. They've been in here because they made the coupler conversion. You need a smaller screwdriver. They made this coupler conversion, and I mean, there's a little dirt in the gears, so they ran a little bit, but the wheel sets are quite clean. So they ran it some. I don't know. Now I can probably ID that electric motor there. I can probably learn a lot more about this. This has way better detail than that Tenshoto ST24. Much better detail. And that indicates to me that it's got to be an 80s version. Because it's pretty good. I know it's old. It's been sitting around for a long time. But I really got this. Alright. What do we got here? You see that? And it's got one of these coupler pockets with the outside facing. Interesting. Alright. I'm going to have to say this guy's ready to go into the ultrasonic. And he's got one moving part over here. And that same part came off the front. But I want to see what this thing looks like all shined up. And you probably do too. Let's get the couplers off. And we'll throw this guy in to the ultrasonic now. We'll get him in the ultrasonic. What do they do? Thread this thing all the way down? You got locked on the inside or what? There we go. Yep, these interesting coupler pockets. I don't know about you guys, but I will tell you right now, I am feeling this is going to be another red one. Like so many before. I'm feeling a very glossy red with a somewhat wet and greasy look. Not too weathered, but it's been outside. Been in use for a while, and since it's the future, I'm definitely feeling a bathtub exhaust right here. Because I don't collect this. Remember, I don't collect them, I run them, and I have no interest in sticking this on the shelf. I'm going to run this. I am going to fix this up, and I am going to run it. And I'm going to run it a lot. It's going to be fully operational. I've decided what DCC that it should get. Oh man, we're going to fix this front step right here. Came off. It goes back on. Goes in there. Some jewelry tools will fix that. We'll take care of it. So I'm going to keep that guy out of the ultrasonic so I don't forget about him. Alright, let's put this thing in. Let's move this camera. Let's take these two pieces. Let's go get them into the ultrasonic. Alright, so she's heating up. If you have little tiny parts, I like to put them in this basket and then stick that down in the ultrasonic. There we go. Okay, I don't need the basket for this. Bye. See you later. Did you? Tw 20 minutes. 20 minutes and we'll come back and look at you later. Let's look over here. Here's a pile of shells. Some have been in the ultrasonic. There's the dreaded Atlas SD-24. It has been in the ultrasonic, but that paint is really tough. It does not like to come off. Everything else, see these yellow shells, you know what those are? They're like light flake or Bachman or something. And that paint comes off like nothing. Now, let's get this thing broke down. Get this video uploaded so that you can be watching it. Alright, so let's knock this guy out quick. What are we going to do? Soldering iron, heat it up. Right. Hit him with a wire brush. Yeah, I know you shouldn't be messing around doing this like that on wood because it kind of wrecks the tip, but I don't care because I have a grinder over there That would just grind a new tip. So, you know what it looks like? Somehow it's got some markings here. On these, one of those to know is there's the air tanks you see in the picture, so you can figure out from other pictures of other people, you can't remember which way it goes back together. I don't need that. I'll figure it out later. For now, off with your wires. We'll find out which way wires go on this when you get to wiring. Okay. Rather than just stepping on it, we just take it. And now we just lift out the motor. Take the drive shafts. Drive shafts look to be in pretty good shape. Into our bin. Ooh, here's an interesting feature. I don't know if you can see this. Okay. Can you see this? Come on, give me a focus here. Anyways, you see there's a dot right there. See the dot? Okay, that's a set screw for the couplings, drive shaft couplings. Set screw. I'm actually not going to take this off right now. I'm going to tell you another secret. Motor shafts, they only come in a couple of standard sizes. So, pretty much these little shafts here, I can make this fit on here with like no problem at all. I think these would be one size bigger. Alright, I'm wrong. This is the shaft size. That means this is the shaft size. Okay, so let's stick that in the bin and we'll take this off over. Alright, now, what do we got going on over here? We can take the trucks off really quickly. We've got these weights in here. They're held on by some screws. So we're going to take the screws out. Okay. So, in the fuel tank. Okay. Definitely, we're going to clean that up. Feels like lead. We'll just clean up some. No, I'm not going to get lead poisoning from touching it. One's in there pretty good. Let's get out the big chopper. Take it out. That held on those two nuts from underneath into the bin, screw. I like to keep every part in one bin. If you haven't done this a lot, I suggest you lay them out on a microfiber cloth like this. Lay out your parts neatly all over this. And that way you can then take pictures as you go and you can compare them to get them back together. I've done this enough times that I know what these parts are. Now that, I've made a video here showing you and taking them apart. See if we can pull it. Oh wow. I find these set screws to be quite interesting. And the couplings. And actually, that is some good work. This one has been off before. It's broken. Okay, this one's been out. Whoa, man, it's crap. I want to say that these two are broken. Somebody cranked down on it. Broken. Yep. That's what happens. I'm still going to have to overcome. Alright, gear towers. I know these, we're going to take out these long screws. Interesting that the black wires, they're reversed on the towers. I like to have all my wiring same color, same size. We'll find out why that is a little bit. I'm going to leave the black wire on here for now, just so I remember something I wanted to show you later. And that thing I want to show you later is how power is picked up from this, and how we're going to replace that with silicon wire. Okay, so now here, this is the gear tower. That will be going into the ultrasonic and cleaning out all this stuff. And this is, actually this is in pretty good shape, other than the fact there's something going on with the set screw. We'll deal with that later. Pretty good shape, and they feel good. They feel good. The bad thing is that they mesh, those gears mesh to a metal, to a brass gear in here. That is, when they're not put together correctly, the brass gear will literally shave teeth off of the plastic gears, and then you have a little bit of a problem. We've got plastic insulating washer. Truck 1 is out. Oh, he's got an insulating washer too underneath him. That's kind of neat. Now with that type of insulation system, I'm going to suspect this is even later model. This is newer than I first thought. Very nice and smooth, going into the ultrasonic. The Tenchoto over here is pretty old. He's got this under frame drive shaft system, which is not my favorite, but I'm going to fix it so that it works just the way it was intended. Alright, truck 2 out. Under frame. Let's do a little quick polishing. Now, remember when I told you guys not to use this? I mean it this time. Do not use this on your brass anything. Do not. Okay? Use this one, silver shaft. Use this copper shaft one. Like I've said before, you're going to tear it apart. Don't do that. Use this silver shaft on the low. And I just want to see. Okay, the fuel tank is screwed on here, and the air tanks are too. So we might take this all apart and clean it. This wheel is silver shaft is going to tell me how much tarnish is on here. So I'm just going to check it. I ain't polishing this whole thing. I just want to see how nice it's going to be when I get it polished. It's going to be decent. There's my polished spot right there. It's staining. No big deal. Fuel tanks, air tanks are screwed on with these little screws. And I'm going to ultrasonic this whole thing at one time first. Then, depending on what it looks like, come back, probably disassemble this fuel tank and do it again. These trucks, shall we open one? I think we should. 2 Phillips on the bottom. Side frames are held on. I want to get a little cup for the truck. Let's keep their parts separate from the body part. We'll start these new parts been little one. Where do I get these cups? Dollar store. $1 dollar store, they're putting your forks and knives and kitchen stuff and junk drawer organizers. But they're definitely good for these projects. Okay. Bushing. Clean off the ends. There's a bushing in the back here. There's a bushing in the front. Alright, bottom piece off. That's going in the electronic. So, it's got an idler axle. Nice. You know what we're going to do with that? We're going to make this a floating axle. Since it doesn't serve really much purpose, it does pick up power. Okay, so how do we know to put this back together the right way? What we're doing is on the short end of the truck, the plastic insulator on the wheel set, all of them. Let's see, when you're looking at it with the short end facing up, all the plastic ones are on the black rail. On here, it's this side. So we're going to remember this. Black plastic, black wire, black rail. That's how we're going to remember that. When we get to doing wiring, I'll show you what I mean. Black plastic, black rail. All the wheel sets go into the ultrasonic. Actually, everything in here is going to the ultrasonic in that little mesh container for the little stuff. There is our truck. Now, I don't really want to remove the side frames, but I do want the wheel sets out. There's no grease on this, which is good. That's amazing. First of all, I'm happy that there's no grease on them. And I put the time that I want on them. Alright, so I'm going to take off one side. Okay, we're going to go with a smaller screwdriver. Get the wheel frame. I'm not going to disassemble the whole frame because it isn't necessary. I'm only taking off one side. Careful to keep this. Okay. Clean it. Wheel sets. Not bad. Actually, I'm surprised these wheel sets. They almost make me want to think they might be replacements. Ooh, what do we got here? Worm gear. Oh, there goes the bushing. Okay. I'm going to have to say we do not need... This thing is very clean. It's got some thrust washers that came off of it. Got a bushing. The bushing goes on the other one. I'm going to say we are not going to alter